You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. Be sure to smash that like button. I have often said that the biggest indictment on Ed Ogeron, the previous staff, is what happened on draft day. The fact that you had 10 players drafted from a team that went 6-7. The only team that had more players drafted than LSU was Georgia. She had 15. Literally set a record as the national champion, the only team that had more players drafted than you. And you went 6-7. Point being, this isn't to rip an old scab off the wound. The point being, talent wasn't the issue. Maybe you weren't a championship roster, but you had enough talent to be better than 6-7. I think we all understand that. So the people say LSU's always had the talent. That's true. The other part of this conversation, though, that's interesting is how much of that talent is there now? How much of that talent returned and is there right now for the 2022 LSU Tigers? Well, it was an interesting question to ask on this day because Todd McShay, and again, Todd McShay is one guy, he's one draft analyst, but he is a draft analyst who works at ESPN and is respected, and this gives us somewhat of a gauge for what people think about this LSU roster. Well, Todd McShay listed his top 50 prospects for college for this coming draft and the top 10 by position rankings for this coming draft. It's no surprise that Kayshon Boutte is high on the list, which may surprise you, is at number 6. Kayshon Boutte is actually the highest rated receiver in the draft by Todd McShay. Even ahead of Jordan Addison, who transferred from Pitt to USC, of course, won the Blitnikoff. Jackson Smith-Njigba from Ohio State, who, of course, exploded in that Rose Bowl a year ago. So major praise there for Kayshon Boutte from Todd McShay. But it wasn't just Kayshon Boutte. Excuse me. Old habits die hard. Kayshon Boutte. The guy I call it, he says his name's Boutte. I'm calling him Boutte. B.J. Ojulari comes in at number 25. Again, 25th best player overall in the draft class, according to Todd McShay. 6, Kayshon Boutte, 25, B.J. Ojulari, and a few spots later at number 30 is where we find Ali Gay on this list. So 3 players in the top 30, that's essentially translates to what would be 3 first-round picks. This isn't a mock draft, but that's how that would actually translate. When you look at the position rankings, I mentioned Todd McShay ranked the top 10 by position. There are 7 LSU players ranked in the top 10 of their position by Todd McShay. I mentioned Kayshon Boutte ranked the number 1 receiver. Ali Gay's ranked the number 3 defensive end. B.J. Ojulari's ranked number 4 outside linebacker. Jay Ward is ranked the 9th best safety in the draft. Jaquelin Roy is ranked the 11th best defensive tackle in the draft. And Sevyn Banks is ranked the 15th best cornerback in the draft. You've got 7 players, all at different positions, by the way, ranked in the top tier of their position for this coming draft. Effectively, what Todd McShay's telling you can have at least 7 players drafted off this LSU team. And that doesn't even include underclassmen like Mason Smith, Malik Neighbors, dudes who we all think are going to have really big years for LSU. Jack Besh, another sophomore. Also begs the question, what if they had been able to keep Elias Ricks and Apu Aika? Those are both guys that McShay ranks in the top 30 overall of this coming draft. The top 50, but still. We talked about that blue chip ratio from 24/7 Sports a few weeks back. Our buddy Bud Smith puts out every year. And the blue chip ratio essentially is a gauge. It's an objective reading of roster talent. the percentage of 4 and 5 stars on a roster compared to the rest of the roster. And LSU, according to the blue chip ratio, had the 7th most talented roster in college football. This kind of speaks to that, doesn't it? I say all this just to point out there's a lot of questions about LSU. And we all know them because we've had the conversation. Who's going to start at quarterback? Is your offensive line going to be able to perform? Totally remade secondary. How do they gel together? Replacing all of your specialists. I get it. You got a lot of questions. You've also got a lot of talent. And this time you actually have a coach that knows how to maximize that talent because he's done it for 32 years as a head coach. Tough schedule, a lot of questions. I understand why people aren't projecting LSU to be a championship contender, and I'm not projecting that either. But what I am saying is, when you got a lot of talent and a good coach, sometimes things tend to go your way. Todd McShay with a little validation for this LSU football team. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.